Hey again, my name's Tom and I thought I'd do a video today reflecting on my recently completed 4x4 design challenge, so let's just dive straight into it. The 4x4 challenge was in fact that, a challenge. It felt like a month-long brawl with both my motivation to complete the work as well as my overall skills as a designer, and with design applications like Figma. However, it was a brawl I felt like I won in the end, as I felt like I completed the challenge to the highest standard I felt my current skills were with as a designer. But before I sort of jump into, I reckon, like the positives and negatives and how I felt in the challenge, I thought I'd recap each week individually as a whole. So let's dive straight into that. So week one was Rebel Active. I started off with something familiar, an app for Rebel Sports loyalty program, Rebel Active. This was a really strong starting point for the challenge for myself, as I work at Rebel and also has attempted to make an app in the past. So I had assets, color palettes all set up ready to go, and I had the mindset of like a customer. This meant I could focus more on like the actual design of it all and don't have to worry too much about the little things in the setup of the app with the color palettes, design, text, everything like that. Overall, this first week set a real positive tone for things to come, as I felt sort of motivated and eager to learn new things and new skills as a designer. Week 2 was Fresh Out, which was a streetwear website. And this week was definitely a change of pace from week 1. I went into it pretty super ambitious with the streetwear website I really wanted to create. And the ambition was great, but pairing that with somewhat lackluster motivation in terms of like each week, and trying to do too much within that single week, it led me to sort of trying to do too much in too short of amount of time. Things like creating and sourcing my own images, as well as trying to develop sort of full web pages with everything functioning and working, just took up a lot of time that left me at the end of the week with a fairly like lacking visual identity and overall kind of a bit of a disappointing final project. However, it felt like it was a really good benchmark for my current skills, as well as how much work I realistically could do and complete within a week. Now, week 3 was Matchup. Felt like a bit of a bounce back week. It was a week I went motivated to get a better final product than what happened the week before and what I was designing in like week 2. This started with sort of a simpler mindset going in and with what I was designing, in this case designing a sports fixturing app. I decided not to go in depth with every single feature of every single page and just target a handful of key specific pages that would make the app function that I could run through for users. This sort of led me to diving into things like variables to properly set up a style guide, as well as using those variables and new variables to create deeper functions within certain pages without blowing out the size of the Figma document and sort of overwhelming myself. This was sort of a great bounce back week, like I said before, where I learned sort of a lot of new processes and also gained some new skills that I felt like I didn't have or know before. Now, week 4, Victory Hub, the esports matchmaking sort of website. This almost felt like a victory lap. This was a great time. It was great for both my motivation as well as my enjoyment of like designing and just designing something I was proud of. This week it felt like almost a combination of all the previous 3 weeks. Everything I'd learned from like my workflows were improved, my overall design work benefited from all that, as well as I just felt better in everything I was doing. I managed to use a lot of the new things I had learned from previous weeks, such as variables, pairing that as well with my existing knowledge of like animation in Figma and animation as a whole, to really create a final product in the final week that I was proud of, and I'm probably most proud of out of the whole project in terms of the final product and the little things I was doing. Now that I've run you quickly through the weeks, what I thought I'd now dive into my overall thoughts on what I felt went well over the challenge and what I felt I personally could have improved on. Now, we'll start out with the pros, because I feel like it's start with the positives and the negatives, you know. The help from people on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, was great. When I post polls, things like that, the people like engaging with it was super awesome. Helped me really create good and sort of new designs, which is really handy. I also felt my motivation during most of the weeks was fantastic, Couple dips here, week 2 here and there, but overall I felt it was really good. I was happy with myself where I completed the whole challenge basically with no gaps. Had a couple of days off at one point because I was a bit unwell, but apart from that, I was really chuffed with how I managed to actually sort of complete the challenge properly, get myself motivated and get in there. The final outcomes as well, I was super happy with. The websites, apps, everything was awesome. I was happy with how they came out. Obviously could spend a bit more time on them because we've only got a week to do them. I also improved and added to my skills in using Figma. Learned a lot that I had no idea about beforehand, and also just overall felt like I was doing really well. I also learnt and improved my workflow for consistency among designs and design systems, so that was really handy. As well as overall, I've actually enjoyed myself most weeks. Didn't feel like a chore, and I really just overall enjoyed doing everything from start to finish. Now we'll just move quickly into the cons. There's only a couple of them. The first one was in a 1 week span, one design was quite tough at all times. Just, doing them consistently on time was tough. Occasionally as well, I would feel like I'd design myself into a corner, spend a few hours designing something that ultimately wouldn't function, wouldn't work, resulting in myself losing hours worth of work. And for the first couple of weeks when I first started a new app, I felt almost a bit directionless. Like I didn't quite know where I was going with things, and overall just didn't know where to start. But anyway, hey, we're at the end of our reflection here. If you made it all the way to the end and watched throughout my incoherent rambling, thanks for watching my little ramble. Thanks for the support as well of everything, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube here. It was a real fun time and helped me learn some crucial skills that hopefully I can take into the professional world. Yeah, as always, follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, stay up to date with what I'm doing, and peace. I'll catch you next time.